Kylian Mbappé finished the 2026 World Cup above every goal scorer who had come before him. 10 goals in one tournament took his career total to 22, making him the leading scorer in World Cup history at only 27 years old. It should have been the defining triumph of his career. Instead, the record arrived during a chaotic 6-4 defeat to England in the third-place playoff, a match France never wanted to play, and a painful reminder that individual greatness had once again failed to produce collective glory. France had entered the tournament with one of the deepest and most dangerous squads in international football. They possessed pace, creativity, experience, physical power, and a captain who appeared capable of rewriting the sport's history every time he stepped onto the pitch. They had won the World Cup in 2018, reached the final again in 2022, and arrived in North America believing that another championship was not simply possible, but expected. Yet when the defining match arrived, France were not eliminated by a lucky goal or a dramatic penalty shootout. Spain controlled them, restricted them, and defeated them 2-0 in a semi-final that exposed weaknesses hidden beneath France's extraordinary attacking numbers. Mbappé had delivered the goals, but even he could not rescue a team that had become too dependent on moments of individual brilliance. This is not the story of how Kylian Mbappé failed as a goalscorer. It is the story of how France's most gifted generation failed to become its most complete team. This is Football Power Files. Mbappé's relationship with the World Cup began like a football fantasy. In 2018, he arrived as a fearless 19-year-old, surrounded by experienced leaders. He ran at defenders without hesitation, scored 4 goals, and helped France become world champions. At that stage, he represented possibility. He could play with freedom because the emotional and tactical responsibility belonged to older figures around him. Everything changed 4 years later. In the 2022 final against Argentina, Mbappé scored 3 times and converted his penalty in the shootout. It was one of the greatest individual performances ever produced in a World Cup final. But France still lost. That defeat elevated him from extraordinary talent to national leader. He was no longer expected merely to influence matches. He was expected to decide entire tournaments. By 2026, Mbappé wore the captain's armband and carried almost every major expectation surrounding the French national team. His performances were analyzed differently from those of ordinary players. When he scored, people questioned whether he had contributed enough outside the penalty area. When France struggled, the camera immediately searched for his reaction. When the team lost control, responsibility was placed on the captain, regardless of whether the problem began in attack, midfield, or defense. Criticism had followed him into the tournament after a difficult club season in which Real Madrid fell short of its major objectives. Questions were also raised about his leadership and whether his personality suited the demands of captaining France. Inside the squad, however, his teammates continued to defend him and insisted that he was judged by standards no other player was required to meet. The 2026 World Cup, therefore, became more than another competition for Mbappé. It was supposed to prove that he could do more than produce spectacular numbers. It was his opportunity to lead France from beginning to end and transform the pain of 2022 into a second World Championship. Mbappé was not carrying an average squad. France arrived with an attacking collection that appeared almost unfair. Ousmane Dembélé offered movement, speed, and unpredictability. Michael Olise provided control and creativity between the lines. Bradley Barcola could enter from the bench and immediately attack tired defenders. Désiré Doué and Ryan Cherki offered even more technical quality and imagination. The strength of this generation was not limited to the starting 11. Didier Deschamps could change the rhythm of a match without weakening the team. Players who would have been central figures for many other national sides were competing simply to receive minutes. France had assembled a squad capable of playing directly, dominating transitions, or overwhelming opponents with waves of attacking substitutions. This depth created an important expectation. France did not need Mbappé to perform miracles in every round. Unlike countries built around one superstar, they possessed several players capable of scoring, creating, or deciding matches. In theory, Mbappé's presence should have made life easier for everyone else, while the talent surrounding him should have reduced the pressure on the captain. But an abundance of gifted players does not automatically create a unified team. France had several attackers who wanted to receive the ball in similar areas. They had speed across the front line, but speed becomes less useful when an opponent refuses to leave space. Their greatest strength could become predictable if the entire attacking strategy depended on finding Mbappé and the other forwards during transitions. During the early rounds, those concerns were easy to ignore. France were scoring too frequently and winning too comfortably for anyone to question the structure beneath the results. France began the tournament with the force of a team determined to erase every previous disappointment. Mbappé scored twice in the opening victory against Senegal and became France's all-time leading international goal scorer. His goal sent a message to the rest of the competition. The captain had arrived in form, and another historic World Cup campaign was beginning. Through their first 4 matches, France scored 13 goals. 12 were produced by Mbappé, Dembélé, Olise, and Barcola. Mbappé, Dembélé, and Olise combined for 11 goals and 9 assists during that stretch, placing France's attack in the conversation with some of the most productive forward lines in World Cup history. The variety of the attack made France appear impossible to contain. Defenders who moved higher up the pitch risked allowing Mbappé to sprint behind them. Those who retreated toward their own penalty area created room for Olise to receive possession and construct attacks. Any defense that focused too heavily on Mbappé risked releasing Dembélé, Barcola, or another French forward. The victories created fear, but they also created an illusion. France appeared capable of solving every problem because their attackers repeatedly converted small openings into goals. Structural weaknesses were hidden by individual quality. Moments when the press became disconnected or the midfield lost control did not receive much attention because France still possessed enough firepower to punish opponents. In the quarter-final against Morocco, Mbappé missed a penalty but recovered to score his 20th career World Cup goal. Dembélé added another 6 minutes later as France won 2-0 and reached a 3rd consecutive World Cup semi-final. Morocco did not register a shot on target until the 84th minute. France had won 6 consecutive matches, scored 16 goals, and appeared to be moving toward another final. They were now 1 victory away from history. Then Spain removed everything that made them dangerous. Spain approached the semi-final without fear. They did not retreat into a defensive block and wait for France to attack. They controlled possession, moved the ball patiently, and forced Deschamps' players to chase the match rather than dictate it. That tactical choice was crucial, because France were at their most destructive when opponents lost possession and left open grass behind them. Spain protected the ball, controlled the rhythm, and prevented the match from becoming chaotic. Mbappé and Dembélé could not continually accelerate into space because that space rarely appeared. France attempted to press high, but their movement lacked coordination. One player stepped forward while another remained behind. Spain passed through the pressure, created numerical advantages in midfield, and forced France's attackers to repeatedly run without recovering the ball. The more France chased, the more disconnected their formation became. Spain took the lead after Lamine Yamal drew a foul from Luca Digne inside the penalty area. Mikel Oyarzabal converted the penalty, forcing France to chase a match for the first time in the tournament. Pedro Porro later added the second goal, as Spain completed a controlled 2-0 victory and advanced to the final. The scoreline was not humiliating, but the nature of the defeat was deeply concerning. France never consistently imposed themselves on the contest. Their midfield could not control possession, their press could not trap Spain, and their celebrated forward line became isolated. Mbappé attempted to influence the match, but Spain surrounded him before he could reach dangerous areas. He was often forced to receive the ball far from goal, with several defenders already positioned between him and the penalty area. Without open space, the most explosive player in the tournament looked strangely contained. France had spent weeks appearing unstoppable. Spain needed only one match to reveal how dependent they had become on conditions that favored their speed. Didier Deschamps had built one of international football's most successful modern teams. Under his leadership, France won the 2018 World Cup, reached the 2022 final, and remained a regular presence in the final stages of major tournaments. His approach emphasized discipline, physical strength, defensive organization, and the ability to punish opponents in transition. That system made France extremely difficult to eliminate. They did not always need to control the ball, because they were comfortable absorbing pressure. They could survive difficult periods and trust their attacking talent to decide the match when an opportunity appeared. But the Spain semi-final demanded a different type of football. France needed to control midfield, patiently construct attacks, and move an organized opponent out of position. They could not simply wait for Spain to make mistakes, because Spain rarely surrendered the ball in dangerous areas. This was where France's enormous talent became strangely limited. Their attackers were capable of producing extraordinary moments, but the structure behind them did not consistently create favorable situations. Against Spain, the distances between midfield and attack became too large. The forwards received the ball without enough support, while the midfielders struggled to progress possession through Spain's pressure. Deschamps had created a team capable of surviving tournaments, but survival was not enough against an opponent that controlled the match. France needed to impose an identity rather than respond to Spain's. They never found a convincing way to do it. The defeat also carried historical weight. Spain had now eliminated France in the semi-finals of Euro 2024, the 2025 Nations League, and the 2026 World Cup. Different competitions had produced the same basic outcome. France's individuals could threaten Spain, but Spain's collective structure repeatedly proved stronger. Calling the tournament Mbappé's failure requires an important distinction. He failed to achieve his primary objective of leading France to the trophy, but he did not fail in front of goal. His 10 tournament goals and record-breaking career total make that argument impossible to defend. The deeper failure was that France had become dependent on Mbappé solving problems that no forward could solve alone. He could finish chances, attack defenders, and force opponents to alter their shape. He could not single-handedly control midfield possession, coordinate the press, or prevent the distances between France's defensive and attacking units from expanding. Against Spain, Mbappé needed the ball to reach him earlier and in more dangerous spaces. Instead, he often received possession after Spain's defense had already settled. Every additional second allowed another defender to move toward him. The player who appeared unstoppable in transition was being asked to break down an organized structure almost entirely through individual invention. After the defeat, Mbappé acknowledged that France had failed tactically and technically. Communication during the press had broken down. First touches had been poor, and the team had failed to execute its plan collectively. The captain accepted responsibility, but his assessment also showed that France's problems went far beyond one player's performance. A superstar can transform a close match. He cannot permanently compensate for a team that is losing control in several areas at once. France still had to play England in the third-place match. For a team that expected to reach the final, the fixture represented emotional punishment rather than opportunity. Both countries had arrived hoping to become world champions, yet they were now competing for the position immediately outside the final. The match became one of the wildest games in World Cup history. England raced into a commanding lead. France attempted to recover, and the two teams eventually produced 10 goals. Bukayo Saka scored a hat-trick as England won 6-4. Mbappé scored twice, but France's defensive collapse ensured that even his goals could not change the final outcome. Those two goals took Mbappé to 10 for the tournament and 22 in his World Cup career. At that moment, he moved above Lionel Messi and every other player in the competition's scoring history. He had reached the total in only 22 appearances, turning his third World Cup into another extraordinary individual achievement. Yet Mbappé's reaction revealed how little comfort the record provided. He made it clear that he would have preferred to be preparing for the final. The goals had strengthened his legacy, but they had not delivered the outcome he valued most. That contrast defined France's tournament. Their captain achieved something historic, while the team lost its two final matches, conceded 8 goals, and finished outside the top 2. The record made Mbappé appear greater than ever. The results made France appear further away from becoming the complete team their talent promised. France's golden generation fell short because its individual brilliance never developed into complete collective control. The team could destroy opponents who left space, punish mistakes, and produce goals through extraordinary talent. But when Spain controlled possession, compressed the pitch, and removed transition opportunities, France had no reliable alternative. Mbappé delivered what France expected from its greatest goalscorer. He scored 10 times, became the leading scorer in World Cup history, and repeatedly carried the attack. What he could not provide was the tactical connection between every part of the team. That responsibility belonged to the entire structure: the manager, the midfield, the defense, and the forwards working as one unit. France possessed the names, but Spain possessed the clearer identity. France had more explosive individuals, but Spain controlled how the match was played. That is why this World Cup will remain both a triumph and a failure in Mbappé's career. He reached a level of personal greatness that no World Cup goalscorer had previously reached. Yet he watched another country compete for the trophy he wanted. France did not fail because Mbappé disappeared. They failed because they expected his presence to hide every weakness forever. A golden generation is not defined by how many stars appear on the team sheet. It is defined by what those stars become when the match turns against them. France had the talent to win the World Cup. Mbappé had the goals to make history. But when individual power stopped working, the team had no final answer. Mbappé broke the record. France broke again. Was France's failure caused by Didier Deschamps' system, or did the players fail to deliver when the pressure became greatest? Share your opinion in the comments and subscribe to Football Power Files for more stories about the power, pressure, and decisions shaping world football.